This is the first meeting of the vLLM Semantic Router. I don't think that it's going to be a huge turnout, but thank you for joining. So today's meeting is going to be recorded. We are going to post the meeting recording as the YouTube vLLM Semantic Router channel. So for those who cannot join, they can always go back to the recording to find out what we have discussed. Let me share the meeting minutes first. So I just post the Google Doc in the chat window. And if you can just share with the information of who you are and what's your interest, that's really be great. So right. Without further ado, let's just get started. I think first of all, let's just make a quick introduction. So my name is Huayun Qian. I work as a Red Hat. Previously working on a number of projects. Started very early days in Kubernetes. So the vLLM Semantic Router originally came up as a research project as Red Hat, and now thankfully got admitted into the vLLM community. Okay. Then I will just pass on to the next one. Actually, let me share my screen if I can do it. Okay. Oscar, do you mind just share your information? And for those who just joined, this is the link to the 15 minutes.
Yes. I mainly come from an electrical engineering background, but most recently been getting more into like deep learning and the various open source software use. Like I also like ported some models to vLLM. Yeah, but I'm just like mostly interested in like this space and like of open source and the different machine learning frameworks out there. So yeah, just like trying to find out the best way to contribute.
That's great. So I just want to make a little bit of self-promotion. So the idea of the semantic router uses a number of ideas. You can find out, if you are infrastructure developer, you can easily find out Golang, Rust kind of information that could help you. And if you are coming from the machine learning background or have interest in that area, you see we have a lot of fine-tuned models for different purposes, RAG classification, and even the code generation. And if you are coming from the research angle, as you can see, many of us are coming from the research institutes as well. So we published our first paper based on the projects, and we have a full pipeline of research ideas to fill up. So I do believe this is a place everybody can find your strength and exercise your, the best interest in this platform. Without further ado, let's move on to Quan.
Yeah, hi everyone, I'm Kwon, and I was an intern at Adobe Machine Learning, and yeah, I just have some experience with vLLM, and I'm very interested in what Semantic Router is doing, so that's why I want to join and contribute to community.
Thank you. Chen?
Yes, hello everyone. I'm Chen Wang from IBM Research, and yes, I've been interested in this semantic router project since it's founded. Yes, our objective is really to come up with the easy pluggable system that we can achieve more efficient and scalable routing strategies, semantic routing strategies. And Huamin will introduce more about the roadmap we plan to do. carry out in the fourth quarter. And in my main job, I'm more interested in the backend system of the inference engine, large language model inference.
Thank you, Chen. Akhilesh, if I guess your name right, sorry.
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you, Mohammed. Yeah, I work at Google, and I'm very interested in vLLM and also the semantic router. Previously, I used to do like post-training of large language models, and now I'm like last few months or maybe a year, I've been very interested in how to efficiently serve using some framework like vLLM. So yeah, that's what I.
Yeah. Thanks for joining. Saket, if I
Hey,
got your name right.
yeah, that's that's correct. Thanks.
Okay.
Hey everyone, I'm Saket. So, I've been mostly involved in building Go microservices and distributed systems at Uber for the last 6 years. So recently I've moved on, so I'm no longer with Uber, but I've been working on some of prototypes of my own and hosting the vLLM stack. And I had some similar ideas on semantic routing and was trying to prototype where I came across this. So would just love to know more on the roadmap, how I can contribute, and just the general vision.
That's good. So I see two people are joining the waiting room. I have no idea how Zoom works with the waiting room. But Chen, can you see it?
Yes, let me go ahead to admit all of them, but I didn't see it. That's the weird thing, right?
Yeah.
I didn't, let me see. We have totally 6 participants, right? Are there 2 more?
Oh, okay. So
Okay.
I think you probably set it to invitation only. So that's probably why they are having this wait room.
Okay, let me change the configuration. Yeah.
I have never used the Zoom before, so this is my first experience.
Yeah, I actually dedicated you as the host because my network today is really bad and the recording was accidentally stopped, but I'm going to record again.
Okay, so for those who just joined, this is the meeting minutes. So if you have not introduced yourself, maybe this is the time you can just share with us who you are and what's your interest are. Okay. Just sorry to just wait 1 more minute. I see somebody's still joining from the waiting room. Um, hey, Nadav, would you mind just introduce yourself? I see you are typing your name here.
Yes, hello everyone. My name is Nadav. I'm just interested in the project in vLLM Semantic Router. I've been following it on GitHub and also the vLLM project. So also some interest to the startup, but it's just really in the beginning. So I wouldn't want to really talk about what we do and exactly.
That's okay. Yeah, we do have a lots of people come from different backgrounds.
Yep.
And so this is definitely something we can keep watching. Sophie, do you mind just share what's your
Hey everyone, I'm Sophie. Currently in New York. I'm working in mobile AI and working on LM related projects for the financial industry. So nice to meet everyone.
Thank you. So I think that's it, everybody. Sorry to keep you late. And if you are having better suggestions how to organize for the next meeting, just feel free to create the GitHub issue, and we all just send in the Slack channel. So today's idea is just going through the Q4 roadmap for to closing out our first year of release. So if you're going to the GitHub and you find out what we propose for Q4 2025, this is a quite heavily loaded agenda. And you can also find the information on our website. By the way, if you have trouble reading my screen, just let me know. I cannot see what is on my screen at the moment. So the main focus of this release to have the basic functionalities ready. So when people are using it for play or just for using it as a research platform for additional functionalities, they can be assured that some of the APIs are stabilizing and some of the most of the frameworks are already put into place. So if you are going to add additional functionalities, we are going to be enhancing the existing frameworks instead of recreating everything from scratch. So if you are watching our projects closely, you may see that some of the APIs, meaning that's how we create the different configuration files and the way that we do the auto parameters. These are the data we still keep changing in a relatively frequent basis. But if you are after the first release, Q4 2025 release is done, we hopefully can make this more or less stable. So we will not exactly following the Kubernetes region schema like V1 alpha, V1 beta, but we were trying to have certain contractual durations for the frameworks and for the APIs. So hopefully we can use that for more stable release in the future. For the functionality level information, what we are looking at is different level of configuration. So we understand that we are not the smartest people in town. So what we are trying to make accommodating conditions for people who are using the framework, using the projects, is to make it more extensible. If you are using the Semantic Router, you are find out that one of the strengths or weakness, by the way you define it, is that we do the classification, opinionated classification. Right? So if this is based on understanding that different end users want to have their preferences on the model picking, prompt tuning, and even for the safety and assurance. So we make the classification in the very front end to facilitate all these arrangements to be done in a relatively composable way. So just for example, if you are legal, for people who are working on the legal field, they do not want to expose the customer's information. So they also want to have models that have higher analytic capability. So this is one of the things that we can plug in the safety mechanisms and choosing the most, most capable reasoning models for this kind of customer. And for another customer who are just doing the casual chat, then you can relax conditions by choosing a less sophisticated models. So what we are saying that by making this classification upfront, we can make a lot of the backend flows composable and even more customizable for the end user. But our classification model came from opinionated implementation. If you read our models, it's basically tuned to the MLU, the 14 categories started from MLU. And this may not fit into your specific situation. So what we are trying to do is we make this external classification possible by plugging your own MCP server that's dedicated for public classification. So that's one of the out of three implementation. And then we can also have the entry implementation, but have these fine-tuned models to specifically identify what categories you want to classify without have to using the, right now we train fine-tuned model for classification. This will serve two purposes. For out of three MCP-based classification, you can get immediate actions without have to wait for our next release. And you just you just host your own MCP server. If you are looking for high performing solutions, the entry is the way to go. But you have to wait for our models to be fine-tuned and our code base to accept the fine-tuned model in the next release. This will take a longer time, but it's a high performance solution. So by allowing end users to choose what they really want. We make the choices more open. So that is one of the finalization in the Q4. We have some of the work in progress to support these options. We have not finalized everything yet. So the Q4 focus for the semantic chain for routing is to connect the dots to make it more make it more like a finalized version for customers, for end users to use. So this is what we can support, what we plan to support for topic classification. If you're just doing natively using keyword or regex, that is something we have some examples open there, so you can just use it for implementation, for customization. If you are wanting using more like embedding based or classification based, we also have some of the reference implementations you can borrow, and so that is something you can do. So this is for the the extensibility. The second one is the framework. So how we are going to make the code base more more modular and scalable. In order to support all this, we want in classification and the similarity-based models, we have to make our core engine to be able to deal with such extensions. Right now, we're using the Hugging Face Candle library for all the transformer support. So we can use in burst model, and we are currently switching over to the decoder-only model, like a CRAN. So making the Candle library able to support all these models is definitely crucial. And you can find out there's a huge PR waiting for merging at the moment to support the modular Candle binding for Golang. So how this works, you can find the information about our architecture, how the Candle library written in Rust to exposed to Golang router level, and then to do all this fine level of fine granular API control. That is documented in the architecture page on our website. So the current status is that we have a PR that can use in the Quam embedded models in Rust and exposed to Golang. So in the future, we are going to switch over from current modern birds based classification to support a variety of choices using the Quam 3 embedded models, as well as the Google's JAMA embedded models to do the classification for both, to do the classification for topics. That's one use case number one. Use case number two is to support a semantic cache. At the moment, we find out the burst model that we are using for semantic cache cannot capture the subtlety between different chats. We see some of the very significant regressions over there. So we hope switching over to Quam or embedding Gamma will help us to get a better experience on semantic cache. So that's why we are switching over. And also, we are currently using the burst model, fine-tuned burst model for jailbreaking as well as the PII detection. In the future, we plan to migrate the jailbreaking detection to Quam model, the Quam 3 model. So this will help us, to get this consistency in base models and reduce the model loading and using model loading as well as the memory consumption overhead. For PII detection, we probably still going to stay with burst model. It's just because of the PII is a token token sequence, sequencer. It's not like a binary choice. So we potentially will stay with the burst model, but that is just going to be planned out. If you are interested in this area or if you already have experience in this area, feel free to share your thoughts. The last one is we really want to, right now, if you are looking at our project, it's basically the router itself. But with the eventual goal is that we want to have this model, mix of models architecture or deployment, however you call it, meaning that we want to have the routing layer, and we also have this model as a service layer to be tightly integrated. So if you are becoming a model provider or you provide your own model as a service, then you can just using this reference implementation for your own deployments. So you can connect your models that we are making recommendations, or you can just connect to existing models following certain of the deployment precursory steps, and then you can connect with the routing layer to best serve your customer or serve your workloads. So this is the design objective that we want to achieve to support this mixed just model family as we are moving forward. Towards that end, we are standing up a number of POCs using some of the CI configurations as well as the documentations to help people to achieve that goal. Again, so if you are already experienced with how this the process works, or if you have a certain ideas you want to share with us, GitHub or Slack channel is our friends. All right. So in the very low level of the router is the routing layer, and we are currently using the Envoy proxy with the exaproc, the gRPC extension as an implementation. As if you're already familiar with how Envoy works, there's a number of the APIs and configurations and access that could make a lot of transformations inside of the routing protocols. We have not fully exploited every details yet. So we want to using this iteration, the Q4 iteration, to make all these routing protocols and harder transformations to work for different configuration scenarios. Right. Last but not least is that at the moment we are supporting the OpenAI cache completion API, but as everybody knows, the OpenAI is migrating to the response API, which becomes the agentic APIs for next iteration. We are going to follow suit on that end. So we are going to open up another endpoint or API endpoint to support the OpenAI responses API. And at the API schema level, we are going to be compatible with the new OpenAI standards. So that is one of the things that we are looking at in Q4 as well. We are not stopping over there. OpenAI responses API is really meant for agentic. If you already are developing agentic applications with different framework, you're going to find out there's a lot of things the semantic router could help you. Again, if you have good ideas and lesson learned, feel free to share with us. See how we can make that happen to the best usability for the end users. Sorry, I missed the very last one. This is actually came out very late with MCP gateway integration. So for MCP gateway, the idea is that currently most of the function tools people are using is through MCP. So this is really becomes an interesting point that in an agentic framework, you are not interacting with the inference endpoints. That's the semantic router was designed for. You are also interacting with MCP servers that are sitting in the background at different places. For enterprise users, you do want to have a certain level of governance on what MCP tools you want to use and how to optimize the tool calling processes for safety and also for efficiency reasons. So having an MCP front end will go a long way. So if you are already look at the semantic router code base, you will find out there was certain tool calling optimizations already in place. Basically, the idea is that for certain chats, we filter the tools based on the intent of the chat. So if you are just have a chat on financial topics, then we automatically trim the available tools to selectively only have the financial tools available and removing anything that's not related to a topic. this will reduce the token consumption, making the language models more capable of picking up the right tool, as well as to reduce the attack service. That's if some of the anonymous tools that have side effects on a topic, they can be pre-filtered before even getting to the function call. So this is something we already implement, but we have not gotten to the extent that we want to support MCP protocol itself. So which means is that you can use an semantic router not only as an inference gateway, you can also use it as MCP gateway or MCP proxy when you deploy your infrastructures. So this will give you better controls over the tool choice, as well as we use many of the functionalities like the safety, jailbreaking, prevention, or PII detection, things like that. Many of the functionality you can still reuse. And best yet, we think that's going to be even more like caching opportunities you can achieve from the routing layer because your chat starts from the router and your MCP comes out of the router. There's a lot of caching and workflow optimization that could happen within the routing layer within the router. Okay. That's even more. Sorry, I should have read the latest version of the roadmap. Right. For the enterprise readiness, which means that that's going to be an end-to-end user experience. So if you are already using the router, you're going to see there's a dashboard directories, and it has a very rich user UIs over there. It gives you all the full control of the configuration, the playground, and observability, including telemetry. We are using open telemetry, and we are using the Prometheus metrics. So you can see everything in the control dashboard, as well as data plane. You can play with the models, and you can chat with the models, and everything's already fully integrated. So this is something, if you are as an enterprise premise, you can use this routing and the dashboard infrastructure for your visualization. At the ecosystem level, so we are not just studying as a standalone projects. We want to be fully integrated with the whole ecosystem as the within the vLLM PyTorch ecosystem, as well as the Kubernetes or CNCF ecosystem. So this is a non-exhaustive list of ecosystems that we have made plans or communicated with the stakeholders how to do the integration. So within the vLLM ecosystem, we have a vLLM production stack. I think we also have AI bricks, and within the cloud native Kubernetes ecosystem, we have LMD, and we also have specific vendors based platforms or just open source based platforms. The Hugging Face chat, which is basically the backbone of the Hugging Face Omni product that recently came out. We had an integration with that chat interface already. So we also work with NVIDIA on Dynamo integration. And I think that is that is everything. So if you want to, if you see another important framework or ecosystem that we have not touched upon yet, just send a link. So just for reference, we have already integrated with the Android AI gateway and Kubernetes gateway. Let's see, Kubernetes gateway inference extension. Kubernetes Gateway API Inference Extension, GIE. So this has already been integrated. So additional things that you think you want to bring into and you can help, feel free to open an issue and GitHub request. So the tentative timeline is that we are going to be looking at the end of Q4 because this is the year end. People could take vacations. So the latest is end of Q4 or early January next year. We were going to release the first the 01 release. So the criteria is that all the P0s have to be resolved. P1s will be selectively resolved, and all the important topics we just went through and need to come to a conclusion And then we have, if they are not able to be finished, we need to come up with a plan for the next release, how they are going to be finished. So that's what we want to achieve, in this first release. I think that is a good introduction of what we are doing and what we plan to achieve as a community. And we also welcome you to help us to lend your expertise and give us more testing in your environments, or promote our projects to different ecosystems. With that, I'm going to stop yapping and let you to share your thoughts next. So I just hear silence. All right, so maybe we can just switch over a little bit to the GitHub issues and how we typically do the issue resolution and GitHub PR merge. So at the moment, our process is really simple. So whenever you have an issue and you want to share with us what you think, as a suggestion or bug report, feel free. We have a certain template. So once this issue is opened, we add different labels. We have different areas to look at. At the moment, the areas are for people who actually want to be the community leaders to different expertise to stand up. We are not over there yet, but eventually we're going to create different working groups on different areas. So people with expertise, with the community leadership, can take a role over there instead of just we as a few of the core contributors managing everything. So we want to have more scalable core team to manage the issues and areas of development. If this is something that we want to definitely have for the immediate release, we mark it as P0, and it's something that we can wait until the next release, we mark it as P1. So anything we mark as community help needed, that is something, if you are just coming to the project, you can just pick them up. For the PRs, as of right now, we are using many of the AI-assisted code reviews. I use extensively using the Copilot for review because I realized that lots of code are generated by AI as well. I'm not really going to be available to read all the code, so I use it extensively using Copilot to review. If that is a significantly outstanding issue, I will request for reversion. But otherwise, I will just let people to merge it right away. So typically we have a PR merged within a day. Some of the longer reviewing time will be given to those we think are controversial or need extensive local testing. Our CI can discover certain errors, but not completely, something that is new. If that is something completely new, we are still developing the test suite to uncover the issues. Then we will just take a longer time to merge the PR. But fortunately for us, there are not so many PRs that we are waiting for a longer time. So the chances are, if you are requesting something small, we can just merge it right away. If that is obviously without significant refactoring. We are trying to improve the reliability in two ways. One is that whenever you come up with significant refactor, just a contribution, we ask you to write unit test and make sure the unit test is actually test what we are developing. The second is that we are enhancing the end-to-end test. Just as I said, there was so many AI-generated code. It's not possible to write every single unit test. So we heavily rely on end-to-end tests. To that end, we are really proud of in making lots of innovations in end-to-end tests as well. So that is something we are continuously improving. As very last, if you are want to get started, reading some of the PRs is really helpful. At least you will know what our thinkings are and what kind of innovation or just what kind of skill matching you could have in this project. Again, as I said very earlier in the meeting, this project is really consists of lots of expertise from very low level infrastructure, machine learning, model fine tuning, UI development, to research ideas. So we do hopefully that can get a wider range of acceptance between the developers and the end users. So yeah, so that is something that we always have good high hopes. Right?
Thank you,
You
Juan.
have a
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering, like, well, among all those roadmaps, are there particular things you are interested in? And could you just speak up about like which part of the router is really of great interest to you, and then what do you need a semantic router for in your use case? Anyone wants to introduce a little bit about why you are interested in this?
Maybe this is just the first time. So just if you are requiring more information or just attention from us, you can always find us on Slack channel. I prefer GitHub. I'm not really watching the Slack channel very often, but I think Chen and Xunzuo are watching more closely, and we also trying to share with the community what we have achieved through LinkedIn. So if you this is not a so this this is not a self promotion, but you can just if you follow any one of us, like Xunzuo, Chen, and me on LinkedIn, you can always catch up with the latest progress. We also have the YouTube channel, the vLLM Semantic Router YouTube channel. And we are trying to, each time when we have a good demo, we are trying to post a video over there. And for any of the research papers that we are authoring, or we think may related to what we are doing, we also post the videos over there. So again, this is, I think, can bring a lot of innovations and shared expertise. So helping each other is helping ourselves. So the Slack channel. Okay, so you can find the Slack channel at the vLLM Slack, and you can find us on the Slack Semantic Router channel. All right. Maybe you can just call this the day. The first meeting is always the awkward one for me. But if next time if you have any good topic, and if you have any good show and tell, maybe you can just share with us. Again, the meeting minutes is open to everybody. If you know someone, just share with them. Or if you have interesting topic or research paper you want to discuss, it's also a good place. We will be better prepared before the meeting next time. I think the next meeting is more friendly to Asia Pacific. So we may see even more people joining the discussion.
I mean,
All
there's
right.
a question from Kwan about the Slack channel. Could we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is the information. Let me just post the link.
So, so Kwan, the channel is on vLLM, and
Yeah, just well, if you're already there, that's great. If not, there's a sign up page. I think it's I guess you can just search vLLM Slack channel invitation, and that's online sign up page.
Yeah, I also shared the channel link in the chat.
Yeah, I see it. Thank you.
You're welcome. So also from time to time, we get approached by people who are providing products and want us to evaluate the integration opportunities. If that is the case, you want to connect to any of the maintainers, Slack channel is the best place as well. All right, without further ado, maybe you can just take the 15 minutes back for the productive work as your desk. So great to meet you all, and hopefully we can keep up connections on Slack channel and GitHub.
Thank you for the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you all.
Bye bye.